Hey guys, welcome back. So last week we were doing the background for our jungle scene and we're just about done with it. We just put the stream on, which I am doing now. And I actually decided to not do the water idea, or the, what am I saying? Tape. Not put the tape on it. But again, it's all about experimenting and seeing what works. All right, so we want this tip of the stream to kind of be nestled in between these two mountains like that, because that is going to show that it's coming from that mountain. And then we can grab white and blue. Where's blue? Where is my blue? Here it is. All right. And I'm just gonna add little streams, and they're gonna get thinner as they go down. I just want to add little water. And then what we want to do is put this thing that I was looking at up here. Okay. All right, so now we just want to get some trees. So I'm going to use this yellowish paper, and then I'm going to color it. I'm just going to use it as a base. But so I'm going to cut out my tree stems. This is going to be the stems. I'm just going to make this easier on myself. Cut a thin strip. Just cut a thin strip like that. And then I can just easily cut, because they're all going to be the same length, so I can just easily cut little thin shapes, little just stems looking things like that, little Ys almost, or half Ys. I'm going to cut, I don't know, I'm going to cut a few. It's better to have more than have less. I'm going to do some thin ones, some really thin ones, some thicker ones, some straighter ones, and some tinier ones too, actually. I forgot about that. We can always make them tinier later. So that's actually might be easier to make them all the same size, like that. And then I'll take this one, and I'll make this one really tiny. I'll make it tinier, so I'll just cut like that off. I'll get rid of this piece. I'll save this one right here. And for this, and for pieces like this, you want to cut like that. Cut a little piece in between, because that's going to be our branch right there. And actually, we can make it a little thinner at the bottom. Almost looks like a desert plant. But we want to make it look like they're in the jungle, so I'm going to make... So I'm cutting out like weirdly shaped Ys, essentially. And then I'm going to cut out the top. A thin branch right here, like that. Another thin Y, and let's see how many are going to fit on here. Actually, I don't want to cut too many. Okay, again, so we don't want symmetry like that. I mean, it's not bad, but. And the trees are going to get smaller and thinner as they go away from us. See, like that. So I'm gonna have, I think that's pretty good. I know it's a little symmetrical, but to break up the symmetry, I'll put another tree right there. So I have 3 here, 2 here, 1 will be down here. And we glue those down. Actually, no, first, we have to color them. So I'm gonna color mine. I'm gonna get my brown. And, okay, another thing, we wanna think about the sun. So I'm gonna color the shadows like that. So I'm gonna make them, and you can color this on the side, you can color this on, like I'll just grab this, I'll just grab another piece of white paper, and put all my trees on my piece of white paper. And so that way I can kind of be sloppy with it and I won't get it on my final design. So I'm gonna go like this. And I'm thinking the sun's right here for this one. The sun's here and it's pointing that way. So I'm getting a nice shadow coming this way. And shadow like that. And then there's a little bit of kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, so you want to think that it's a little splendid area right there. So you want it to be soft right there, kind of in the middle. And then I'm going to do little tree rings. I'll do them a little quicker, but you guys can spend a little more time on them. So there we have one tree stump. This one, I'm thinking the sun's going to go this way. So I'm going to do a little tree stump like that. You guys can use a different color too, or like, actually might even look better if you use orange. I'll go over this one too, I'll add some orange. Just to make it look a little better. So I'm kind of doing these a little quicker than you guys are because I don't want the video to be too long and take up too much space, so too much memory. So for this one, the sun's coming this way. And if I'm going too fast, feel free to pause the video. But you're gonna do the same thing for all these trees. You're just gonna add the shadow on the side. Because we wanna get to the fun part. We wanna get to the animals, right? We do. Alright, there we go, there we go, there we go. And then two more tiny ones. I'm gonna do one of them with the sun over here. And then one of them with the sun on the opposite side. On these ones, I want the tree stumps too. I want to put a little like that. Perfect. Okay. So now that we have those, let's glue those down. Well, let's arrange them. Let's see where they are gonna stack up. Put that right there. Cool. So once I'm happy with my little design there, I'm gonna go ahead and tape them down. So for these, I'm just gonna do a thin layer, thin tape right like that. I'm only doing that because I don't have a good glue stick to use right now. But I actually don't mind the tape look. I think it adds a little bit of texture. Because it actually is nice to have a varied level of textures in different materials because it makes it more interesting to look at. So I'm gonna get that. Tape this guy. Actually, I'm gonna do it backwards tape. I don't want too much tape on that. Alright, I'm excited for the end. Because, oh yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to do. Actually, I'll do that right now. Let me see if I can look this way. So for what we're gonna do I'll show you guys in a second. All right, so let's get past the more tedious parts. So let's glue down these other tree branches. Oh, come on. I'm trying to grab this tape. I'm just doing really thin pieces and taping those down. So I want to glue these down, tape them down, whatever you got that works. Glue that down. Like that. glue this one down. All right, last one. And then I'm gonna show you guys something really cool. Well, actually, wait. Even before I do that, we might have to do one other step. Hopefully you guys didn't glue down the big pieces. And if you did, that's okay. Even if you did, that's okay. But I'm gonna show you something. So, like I showed you guys before, what's cool with the tape you can grab a big piece of tape, like this. Then what you do is, one second. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna get a big piece of tape, kind of like this. Cut that. Okay, and then fold it loosely. So you wanna have kind of like this kind of a big kind of cylinder. And then you put your tree on top. Gently put your tree on top, like that. And then you loosely put it on your image like that. And it's gonna look like the tree is three-dimensional. See that? And we're gonna do that for these two ones that are closest to us. Actually, probably first what we should have done is color in the grass, but it's okay, we can do that later. I was pretty excited to show you guys that because that's pretty cool. You're gonna do the same thing for this one. So the two trees that are closest to us, and you guys can kind of arrange the trees how you want. You don't have to arrange them exactly like this, but you want to think that the trees that are closest to you, those are the trees that are gonna get, that are gonna look the most 3D. So see that? So these ones down here, glued close to the paper. These are basically paper. And then these up here, these are like I can stick my finger under that. See that? See how much of these come out? That's the cool thing about using mixed media, is that you can really play with the three-dimensionality of the mediums that you're working in. So now I'm going to do the tops of the trees. So that for that, just kind of cut out. You might not even have to draw them out first. If you want to draw them out first, that's smart too, but I'm just kind of gonna cut out this kind of shape right here, and then I'll rip some areas of it so it looks really fuzzy, because we want it to look fuzzy. Like that. See that? And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. And actually, if you taped these together or glued them together before you made it three-dimensional, that actually might be easier. But because of the way my brain works, it's kind of scattered, but trying to be as organized as possible. It's okay though. It's all right. We don't have to do it like that. The good thing about art is you can always correct your mistakes, and sometimes your mistakes actually lead to more interesting things. So I'm gonna glue the back of that, or tape the back of that, and then get it on my branches like that. And it actually looks cool if that's a little 3D too. So that's looking 3D. And we're gonna do the same thing for all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 more to do. Just gonna cut out a big old piece like that, and just kind of haphazardly rip the sides off so it looks more interesting. But try to like follow a loose structure. Try to make it like a little lopsided, but as kind of oval as you can. Not oval, but, well, yeah, maybe oval. Alright, and then let's tape that. Boom, perfect. Got the tape here. Got my tree top. Put them together. Like that. Grab this. Just gently put it on there. And yeah, again, if I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause the video. But I think you guys... So, okay, so this part right here, I know it seems... So I'm gonna try and like measure. I'm like, all right, that's far away, right? So the treetop's gonna be a little smaller. For this part of the video, or this part of the process, that's the thing about art too, you guys. Art is always, well, you want it to be fun, always, right? You always want art to be fun, but unfortunately, it's not always like that. But you're gonna find different levels of satisfaction with your art making. Because when I was a kid, it was just so fun all the time. I just drew for fun, and it was always fun. But then when you, hopefully, if you guys become more into art and you want to do art when you get older, which is a fun career path to go down, then you guys will start to see that it's not always fun. That sometimes it's just you have an idea of something you want to make, and you just want to make it so bad that even if parts of it aren't fun, you don't mind. And you kind of like have to start to learn to enjoy even the parts of art that aren't fun. Because like this right now, it's like, it's fun, but I would rather be drawing and being a little bit more free. And I'd rather be doing other parts of it. That doesn't look too good. I just fold it over. Like I'd rather be drawing the animals, right? I know you guys would rather be drawing the animals, but for an animal painting or an animal artwork to really impress, or not even impress, but you want to have a picture at the end of the day. You want to show the audience a really really interesting picture. So if you have a great drawing of a tiger, but it's on a white piece of paper, it's still great. It's still a great drawing. It's awesome that you did that, and people are gonna love it. But if you have a great drawing of a tiger and it's in an interesting environment, or you did something interesting with the background, or you like made it a certain way, or you made the tiger interacting with the background, or you made it like in its environment, then I think for the most part it should be one of those things where it's like, if you have an animal here, it should be, and the background is so good like this, and it's really interesting, then I think people will respond to it a lot more. But I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think you'll start to see that sometimes it's not always about how fun it is, but it's about how much you really want to make something, which is pretty cool. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and draw scattered little bits of grass around the picture because it's looking too flat. I'm gonna go above this. I'm gonna go right to the edge. Cool, all right, I'm trying to think how many animals we can fit on here, because your guys' piece of paper will be a lot bigger than mine. But still, we don't want to clutter the image too much. So I'm trying to think, what can we add? Oh, and even on the treetops, we want to have some. We want to add little leaves on all of them. But we want to make sure they're still 3D, so once we press down on these, we probably should have done that before we put them on. But I have an artist's brain, and I'm kind of just sometimes a little scatterbrained. But I'm trying to be as organized as possible. But that's the thing, that's the exciting thing about art too, is that like you might discover something that you didn't know was possible. All right, and see, with just a few simple touches like that, our artwork already. Oh yeah, let's do the same thing we did with the trees. So let's make dark, really dark right here on the opposite side of the sun. We'll try to go to the edge. We want dark blobs on these sides, because then it'll look like the sun is just... Because see, the sun is reflecting a light this way towards you, and these parts of the trees are facing away. Technically this whole thing should be in shadow, but we're gonna do this. Oh, I put the wrong shadow side there. And here. Great. So everything I said is true, but I just messed up on it. So the shadow should be here. I'll put a shadow here as well. You guys are just gonna have shadow on one side. But your old teacher here messed up, as usual. There we go. That doesn't really help, but oh well. Add some more leaves and stuff. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna try and pull this up a little bit. Be gentle with it though, you don't want to rip it. Alright. And now what we're gonna do is okay, we gotta put in our animal. So I think that we should do it this way. I think what I'm gonna do, since I don't have much space here, what I'm gonna do is kind of show you guys the general idea. I'm just adding a little bit of, I'm gonna show you guys the general idea of how to do it. And then I want you guys to look up an animal, and you guys can add whatever animal you want to this, because now we have the background. So I think I'm gonna go classic. Do a classic style. I'm gonna do a lion. And so for lion, what can I use? I got this kind of tannish color, this yellowish kind of color that should work perfectly for the lion. And so I want to kind of eyeball it and see, okay, how big of a lion can I do? Not too big, but I'll try and get away with as big of a lion as I can. So I'm gonna try and, I think I want to put a lion right there, right here, like enjoying the stream. So I gotta do a really small lion, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna do kind of like a lion shape. Can't forget the tail. But I'm not adding his mane, because I'm gonna cut out his mane. Whoops, you guys can't see that. Looks like that. Super simple. Just want a super simple lion drawing. Then I'm gonna grab my pencil or brown. And then what I'm gonna do is add a nose, really tiny nose. 2 eyes. And there we go. We got a little lion. Oh God. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna cut him out. So I'm gonna cut a loose shape so I can have an easier way moving across this thing. I can show you guys. So I'm just gonna cut him out. There we go. This out, and I'm gonna cut a mane out separately. You guys could also cut the whole thing out, but I think might be a little more three-dimensional if you cut the mane out separately. But that's totally up to you guys. And if whatever animal you're doing, I think it would be cool. Like say you're doing an elephant, it might be cool to do the trunk. Do the trunk a little bit more 3D. Like do the trunk on a separate piece of paper and then tape it on, as opposed to just cutting it out as one shape, because then it might look like the trunk is like, you can make it look a little more 3D, like it's kind of moving out of the frame of the picture. I don't know, I love stuff like that. Like I love when things look 3D. So I'm gonna grab my little Oh, and same with the animals you put on. You kind of want to tape them on in a way where they kind of come out of the paper. So you want to loosely tape them. So I'd say glue everything except for these two front ones and then the lion. But if you already taped everything like I did, that's okay too, because it doesn't look bad at all. And then I'm gonna do the mane. So I'm gonna do a really small mane. And I'm just gonna do, whoops, can't see that. I'm gonna do like a big old, I'm just gonna do an orange kind of smudge like that. And I'll show you guys how to cut it out. Okay. Oh, I forgot to just show you that part. How I cut out his face was just fold it and then cut a half little circle. And then when you open it up, you'll have a nice mane. And you might even need to cut it a little bit more, like I need to cut this more. Although, that looks pretty good. But I might need to cut it a little bit more. So again, yeah, I'm just gonna fold it. Mine's really small. Your guys is gonna be way bigger than this, so it'll be way easier to do. And you know, be careful with the scissors, you guys. I know I always say that, but you gotta be careful because you can cut yourself. That's not good. All right, so that should be big enough. All right. I'm not even gonna try and tape this down because it's so tiny, but that's the general idea. So I don't want the video to be longer than 30 minutes just because of the upload time, but you guys, this is just the technique, but you guys can go ahead and come up with oh yeah, let's add some more detail on this lion while I talk. But so, essentially, I like this technique because, let me see if I can, all right, I'll try and do a really quick. So, oops, okay, that's not gonna work. So I like that you guys can come up with whatever kind of thing you want. If you wanna like cut out birds in the sky, you can. So I wonder if I can, so you just want to glue everything, glue everything except for, obviously this should probably be at the beginning of this whole lesson, which I'll put a disclaimer. But you want to glue everything, but these trees you want to be loosely taped up so they pop out of the image, and same with your animal. You want to have your animal pop out of the image a little bit. And your stream. You might even be able to glue that part down and then have this part raised up. This part raised up. So it's glued down there and it gets raised up. So anything that's coming closer to the viewer should be popping out of the picture. If that makes sense. Let me just get the mane on there. Final shot. All right. And that is our projects. I wonder if I can see you guys next week. I don't know. We'll have to see with the situation there. But yeah, I'd love to see your guys' projects. And I'm sure they came out great. And I hope everyone's healthy and safe and happy. All right. Well, that should be it. If you have any questions, you guys can email me. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah. All right. that's basically it. All right, bye-bye.